Welcome back. Today, we're decoding some seriously fascinating source material all about human intelligence. We're breaking down the science and psychology that actually prove your intelligence is not fixed at birth. We're going to look at actionable habits that can dramatically upgrade how your brain functions. Okay, let's dive into this. So, is your IQ actually fixed? From a really young age, we've all had this idea drilled into our heads, right? You're born with a certain level of intelligence and, well, that's just the hand you were dealt. Your IQ is locked in. But is that actually true? The psychology and neuroscience we're analyzing today completely shatter this lifelong ingrained myth. We're learning that our brain capacity isn't predetermined at all. It's actually highly adaptable. Just look at the geniuses who struggled early. History is literally full of realities that prove this. If IQ was completely fixed from day one, history just wouldn't make any sense. Albert Einstein, famously called slow by his elders. Charles Darwin was considered a totally average student. And Thomas Edison was actually expelled from school. No way, right? These legendary historical figures didn't just wake up one day as sudden, fully formed geniuses. The source material makes a really powerful point here. The brain acts exactly like a muscle. It requires intentional, deliberate training. That brings us to the very first way to train that muscle. Habit 1, thinking in silence. Let's talk about the default mode network. Think about our modern lifestyle for a second. We're constantly bombarding ourselves with digital inputs, endlessly scrolling through reels, watching stuff, even listening to podcasts. But when you strip all that noise away, your brain enters the state called the default mode network. This isn't just, spacing out. This is the actual biological mechanism where your brain starts connecting dots behind the scenes. It generates deep thinking, creativity, and profound insight. It's exactly why Einstein was known to spend hours just walking alone with his thoughts. No distractions, just pure thinking. 10. So here's the actionable step to trigger this network. Just 10 minutes a day. The habit is to sit in complete silence for 10 minutes daily, without a phone, without music, without any screens. Now, the source material openly admits this is going to feel incredibly boring at first. Your brain is going to crave that instant dopamine. But pushing through that boredom, that ultimately builds the foundational mental clarity you need to really stand out from the crowd. Let's move to our next core concept. Habit 2, productive struggle. This totally reframes how we handle problem solving and obstacles on a daily basis. We all have this modern reflex, right? The second we face a difficult question, we instantly Google the answer. Boom, it takes 2 seconds. But instant searching actually leads to a weak brain. On the flip side, we have productive struggle, which builds strong connections. Psychology tells us that when you try to solve something, fail, and then try again, your brain is actively forging strong new neural pathways. By struggling, you're literally wiring your brain to become smarter.
So the rule here is incredibly practical. Write down your absolute best answer before asking for help, even if it's completely wrong. The source emphasizes that being wrong isn't a weakness. Actually, scratch that. It's the absolute foundation of building intelligence. And honestly, I have to validate you right now. The fact that you're engaging with this structured explainer, actively learning, instead of just mindlessly scrolling for cheap dopamine, means you're already prioritizing your brain's growth.
Moving right along to habit 3, writing to understand. We really need to shift our focus away from just memorizing vague facts and move toward actively processing what we learn. Think about the difference between writing to remember, which is an average approach, versus writing to understand, the smart approach. Most people write just to remember things, like a grocery list or a phone number, but highly intelligent people write to genuinely understand. Take Leonardo da Vinci, for example. His famous notebooks were incredibly messy and unorganized, but they were utterly packed with clear, deeply processed ideas. Writing physically forces those vague, cloudy thoughts in your head to become concrete and clear on the page. What am I not understanding? I want to challenge you to ask yourself this specific question every single day. What am I not understanding? When you write that down and actively attempt to answer it, you clear up those vague thoughts and kickstart genuine intellectual growth. It pinpoints exactly where your brain needs to engage in that productive struggle we just talked about. Next up is habit 4, mental models. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it elevates our thinking to the next level by distinguishing between low-level fact memorization and high-level systems thinking. True intelligence requires cross-disciplinary thinking. For instance, biology teaches us about adaptation. Economics teaches us about human incentives. Psychology teaches us about cognitive bias. True intelligence grows exponentially when your brain connects these diverse core concepts across entirely different fields to solve complex problems. You aren't just memorizing facts, You're building a vast, interconnected network of mental models. To actually build these mental models, here's your actionable advice. Learn something outside your comfort zone weekly. If you're an artist, go read a book on economics. If you're a programmer, study some biology. Consistently expanding into entirely new disciplines is exactly how you build and strengthen these interconnected frameworks in your mind.
Let's transition to our final habit. Habit 5, memory and learning.
Strong memory equals fast thinking. We really need to definitively dispel this persistent myth that memory and intelligence are two totally separate, unrelated functions. They are intimately connected. Take Nikola Tesla, for example. Tesla famously designed incredibly complex machines and electrical systems entirely in his head. He didn't even need to write anything down until the design was perfectly finished mentally. His working memory was so intensely powerful that it functioned like a high-speed processor for his immense intelligence. To build that kind of memory, you have to leverage the science of active recall. It's a super simple two-step process. Step 1, try to remember the information without looking at your notes. Step 2, check your answer. Executing these two simple steps repeatedly over time doesn't just help you remember a fun fact for a trivia night, the science shows it physically alters and upgrades the neural pathways in your brain.
So, the crucial point is perfectly captured in this quote directly from our source material. Your IQ is not a number, it is a system, and a system is built by habits. Let that sink in for a second. This completely summarizes the overarching theme of our entire analysis today. We can finally shatter that fixed intelligence myth once and for all. You are not a static score on a test. You are a dynamic system that can absolutely be upgraded.
Which brings us to our final thought. I control my mind. The source ends with a powerful call to action, and I want to pass that right along to you. If this explainer has shifted your mindset today, if you truly believe that you have the power to rewire your own intelligence, I want you to go down into the comments right now and type this exact phrase, I control my mind. Take ownership of your brain's incredible potential. Keep building those habits, keep learning. But before you go, ask yourself this. If your intelligence is truly limitless, what complex problem are you going to tackle first? I'll see you in the next explainer.